October is Bullying Awareness Month. According to the CDC, bullying is a form of youth violence and adverse childhood experience. The CDC defines it as any unwanted aggressive behavior by another youth or a group of youths who are not siblings or current dating partners, and that involves observed or perceived power imbalance and is repeated multiple times and is highly likely to be repeated. We can go on and on about the descriptions, but we know what it does. It causes physical, psychological, social, and educational harm. Joining us now is our 9 News parenting expert, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler. So we talk about bullying and the forms of bullying. They've evolved and changed over the years.
They have. Unfortunately, they've expanded. So we have probably what people consider traditional bullying, which happens right at the school, picking on somebody, being physically aggressive. Then we have social aggression or relational aggression, which means a lot of times people think of that as the way girls can be on girls. So spreading rumors, spreading horrible pictures, excluding people. And then we also have cyberbullying, which is almost as high as bullying on grounds. And that is, of course, on social media and forms that way. So now we've expanded the horizons of opportunities to really be mean and cruel to other kids, which has long-lasting impact.
Yeah, and larger impact if you're talking about things like social media. I mean, you can be mean to someone in a hallway and X amount of people hear it. If you're mean to someone on social media, X squared knows about it and can either behave in a way that might help you, but you also may find people who pile on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think about it, and so many people have talked about it, as adults. It can last a lifetime.
Yes.
It has that kind of an impact. It can shape someone's future.
It really does. And so we have decades of data that says if you were a child who was bullied, you are more likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, even antisocial behaviors, and suicide. And so we've covered that before, right? Where we lose a child who dies by suicide, and then there's somewhere in their recent history that they were bullied, or a lot of times online, but in any form. And so it really has very serious detrimental consequences.
Have we also improved when it comes to recognizing, helping, treating people who are being or have been bullied?
I think it's mixed right now. I think the return back to in-person school has brought up a ton of mental health issues. And so the system is strained. And so when we think about teachers who are turning over faster, they're burned out, we have administrations who are stressed, and then we also have, undefined kind of, policies. You need to be clear, not just, I read DPS's policy, and it looks nice, it's very big picture, but each and every school then within DPS, a middle school versus a high school versus elementary, needs to have their own that's really clear and involves a lot of different stakeholders, from parents to other kids to professionals, to really create a safe environment.
I think one of the toughest things always is for someone who's being bullied to come forward, because with it oftentimes comes shame, and you want to just get into your corner, and that's part of what the bully wants too. So how do we make that feel like something that people are more willing to do, that coming forward is you're going to get help as opposed to more ridicule or more pain? Yeah,
and I think that's a good point. There are some kids who will report that when they go to the adults, administrators, teachers, that they don't seem to know always what to do. So first, I think having a very clear response and that it's consistent. That's what the research says. Consistent and quick response will create the kind of safe environment. When I say safe, I mean not just physically, but emotionally safe, that it's okay to go. And then the other piece around creating that piece is you have to have some anonymity too. So Safe to Tell is a resource that kids can use and be able to report it, not just if it's happening to you, but also if you witness it.
Yep.
Right? So that's scary to report too.
It's scary to report, and also has long-term mental health consequences by being the witness to a bully and then not knowing what to do or feeling powerless to do anything with it.
Afraid to maybe even get involved yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll have to talk more about this, but a good start of a discussion anyway.
Yes,
Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, thanks as always. Good to see you.
Thanks.